The actress who played Aunt Bethany in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation was the same lady who provided the voice for Betty Boop and Olive Oyl. The Vlasic Pickle Stork mascot was an attempt to capitalize on pregnant women's craving for pickles. In 1846, a doctor started promoting hand-washing in his clinic. He saw a link between women dying from childbed fever and doctors doing autopsies before delivering babies. Most people didn't believe him. He even lost his job. Sadly, he later died of sepsis in an asylum. Splenda was first discovered in 1976 when a scientist at a British college accidentally misheard directions. He tasted a substance instead of testing it, and from then on, the sweet taste of Splenda was discovered. There is a restaurant named Burger King in the town of Mattoon, Illinois, which opened before the giant chain Burger King had registered a statewide trademark in 1959. The Burger King chain isn't allowed to operate within 20 miles of this original restaurant. Sean William Scott, who played Stifler in the American Pie films, was extremely shy and nervous around women and did not have a girlfriend until he was 30 years old. Male orangutans can be attracted to women with red hair. One male, Sing Sing, has even ripped pictures of Nicole Kidman out of magazines and placed them in his enclosure. Michael Jackson once paid a witch doctor $150,000 to put a curse on Steven Spielberg because he didn't give him the role of Peter Pan in his fantasy film Hook. The twins, Will and Hank Deutschendorf, who acted as baby Oscar in Ghostbusters 2, now run their own gym. They are also the nephews of the famous singer John Denver. A Starbucks Grande coffee has 320 milligrams of caffeine, over 4 times the amount of caffeine in a Red Bull, and the Starbucks cinnamon chip scone has more calories than a McDonald's quarter pounder with 480 calories. Almond Strauger, an undertaker, invented automatic telephone switching. He did this because the local phone operator, who was the wife of his business rival, would send all undertaker calls to her husband instead of Strauger. Pedro Lascurain, the 34th president of Mexico, is known for having the shortest presidency in world history, serving for only 45 minutes before resigning. Hollywood father-son duo Sean Connery and Harrison Ford are only 12 years apart in age. David Johnson, also known as the world-famous Bushman, is a busker who has been active along Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco since 1980. He startles unsuspecting tourists by shaking a bush and making gruff ooga booga noises when they approach. Lois Gibson is a renowned forensic artist, known for her exceptional accuracy in creating sketches that have contributed to the arrest of over 1,200 criminals. Her work includes the first ever sketch used on America's Most Wanted. Mark Hamill auditioned for the role of Mozart in the movie adaptation of Amadeus after playing the role on Broadway, but was rejected after a studio executive said, "I don't want Luke Skywalker in this film." Clint Eastwood was mayor of a tiny city, Carmel by the Sea, California, in the 1980s. He ran because he wanted to lift a ban on public ice cream sales. We know what Napoleon Bonaparte smelled like. He ordered multiple bottles of cologne monthly and spread it on himself with a brush. The cologne is called 47 Woven, and the same recipe is still used today as when Napoleon used it. Apple pie is not American. The pie was invented in medieval England, while the modern recipe for apple pie with a lattice crust was created and perfected by the Dutch. Each episode of ALF took 20 to 25 hours to shoot and was extremely demanding on the crew. Max Wright, the dad in the show, despised supporting a demanding inanimate object and at one time become crazed, physically attacking the puppet. Astronauts Mark Lee and Jan Davis married in secret 9 months before their joint flight to the ISS and didn't tell NASA until it was too late to train replacements. They are the only married couple to have ever flown in space together.